How's it going then? I hope you had fun. Now it's time to do some painting and some drawing and some creative thinking. Did you do a warm-up exercise? No, you don't have to. But sometimes it helps, right? It's like doodle around the time just to get the arms all loose, the body all loose, get the imagination going, right? So, we're going to work on something called silhouette painting or silhouette drawing. It's been around a very long time. I mean, if you imagine the cavemen, they're doing the shadow puppets on the walls. The rabbits, right? What are the I can't do them, I don't know. What's this? Right? Shadow puppets. But now we're going to put them on a piece of paper. Right, it's kind of cool. There used to be shadow puppet theatre, early movies, awesome. There'd be some cool shadow puppet movies. I'm sure you could make some yourself. That could be something you could do. Write a script and create a shadow puppet theatre for family home evening or something like that, right? Maybe, you never know. Then what else? So back then, I say back then, I mean 1820s, 1830s, what they used to do is, because they didn't have photography around that time, or if they did, it was like very, 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 very basic stuff, right? Because I think it's even before photography. So they would just do the shape of the person's face, like a profile. I'll show you. So you can recognize someone's profile very easily just by the shape of their face. It's kind of cool, really. So here it is. Down there, oh, lips. And then they wear fancy hats, right? Or, you know, well, the girls would have their hair dressed properly, and the boys would, what would they do? They would wear their best clothes, and so they'd have an outline of their best clothes. And then they would have father and mother sitting down in a scene, like sort of sitting down here. And then, or a more dramatic, I guess a more expensive version was the lady standing in the middle of a nice room, and here it is. Then, they used to use it for illustration for books. It was a cheap way of doing it, like printmaking. I mean, it's just black and white. And I mean, it's awesome. It's just amazing how creative you can do it. Just by these black and white images, and you can see them, just those shapes. It's kind of cool. Here are some images of what people have done, or children have done, to create silhouette painting. Here is one. And that's another one. There's another one. You getting the idea? It's kind of, some people like to do night scenes and put like a night wash on it. What else could you do? Here, you could do a diving scene, right, underwater, and have divers. And look, say you're standing on the bottom of the ocean and you're looking up, and you kind of have the corals on both sides, and then you have the ship in the distance behind you over here, and then you can see the divers in the water coming towards you, and then the sharks, jellyfish, other fish. Right, so there are some ideas that you could do. I'm going to show you how to make this by using the light from a window. You can either do that, or you can go off and do some other ones like I just shown you. Try that, be fun to do. I hope your imagination gets all sparkly, and then you can create some awesome images. Well, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye. So I've got it. Okay, I want it slightly off-centered. So I want it here. So it's not right in the middle, but just off to the side. Okay. Now that I drew around it beforehand, I can really see my outline. Really, really helps. You ever notice chickadees and nuthatches? They like to hang out. They're kind of buddies. It's kind of cool. Oh, there's a squirrel. What you doing, Mr. Squirrel? Let's change angle. Believe it or not, this is how, a long time ago, when animators used to make their movies, like animation, like they would draw one shape like this, have a piece of paper behind it, and then they draw the next shape. So you'd have like a drawing of this, like this, like this, like this. And they would flip it and it would just make it move like this. It's kind of cool. Right. Okay, so I carefully peel away the piece of paper. I didn't put it on really tight because I knew that. Just be careful. So you can see by me outlining the image, by me outlining the cat, it made it so much easier when I was putting it onto the big light box. So now I have, I don't know if you can see it, pencil drawing. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go around again, with my pen. I'm going to outline the cat. Okay, now you could actually leave that like that, or you could paint a different colour, or you could do a whole bunch of other things with this. But we're going to do, we're going to paint inside it now. So you can see, what I've done is I filled in the main area, right? I didn't do the edges yet, it's too much. Okay, so now I'm going to do the more finer snow machine outside. It snowed last night. So what I'm doing is I'm going to use my paintbrush, I'm using little circular motions just to work my way to the line. So what I just did then, I removed the paper. Anything to make it easier, right? As a cat is hairy, sometimes if you go over the edge a little bit, it doesn't matter, doesn't it, really? Because the cat's furry, and so it's just going to look, oh, it looks more like a cat. I mean, obviously make a big, do not sneeze when you're doing this. Whoops. That'd be scary. Make sure there's enough paint on your brush. I really like this paintbrush. It's a pointy one. It's a round number 2 by Princeton. See the different ways of doing it. Either doing it like this way, or little circles like this, or change the angle. So there you go. There's my painting of my cat having a doze in the sun. Watch out when you're painting that you make sure that you paint in the direction of the fur, right? Because it's interesting how the paint dries because it leaves little brush marks, and so if you follow the contours of the fur, it makes it look even more three-dimensional. It's kind of cool, really. So maybe you have chickens. Do you have chickens in your backyard? Or no, a neighbour has chickens, sheep. How about your pet dog? Does your pet dog sleep in a specific way? It's like this. You could take a photograph of him doing that. By your pet budgie. Any other pets that you may have that you want to take pictures of? Or, yeah, give it a go. See what turns out. Because you'd be surprised at what happens. Another thing. If you want to frame your painting, framing costs so much money. Go to a second-hand store and get one of their frames. And then take out the picture you don't like and put your picture inside it. Saves you money. Because you need to put your paintings in frames, don't you? Cool. Well, take care of yourself. See you next time. Bye.